Hi everybody, I'm Hub Arkush for Pro Football Weekly, and we're here to preview the Sunday night game of the week for Week 9. It is the Dallas Cowboys visiting the Atlanta Falcons. Associate Editor Dan Parr on my right covers the NFC South for us and the Atlanta Falcons, and our senior editor to Dan's right, Eric Edholm, of course, has the NFC East and the Cowboys. And Eric, you're on the road this week with a Cowboy team that doesn't seem to matter if they're on the road or at home. They find ways to have problems, particularly early in football games.
Yeah, and late. I mean, that's been one of the big question marks about Jason Garrett is the game planning and the game managing, and how do they sort of pull these things out. And they did it against Carolina. It didn't work against Baltimore last week in a huge game against the Giants, a game they came back from and showed a lot of toughness. I just think it's football intelligence and mental sharpness that has really kind of undercut them this season.
Dan, the Atlanta Falcons are 7-0, and I would say 80 to 90% of the, quote, experts and insiders I talk to are only talking about how they're waiting for something to go wrong. Nobody seems to believe in this football team as good as they've played.
I think people look at how opportunistic the defense has played, how the running game hasn't quite come along as it has in past seasons for the Falcons, and they see problems ahead. But until a team really comes out and takes advantage of all those weaknesses against the Falcons, or perceived weaknesses, they're not going to lose. If they take care of the ball, they make good decisions, they're well coached, they don't make many mistakes, and that's been the difference for the Falcons this season.
And they're a much better football team at home, Eric, but there's a couple statistical matchups here that I wonder how they impact the Cowboys. The Falcons, 29th against the run, 28th running the football. Now the Cowboys, they lose Sean Lee, their best run defender. DeMarco Murray's been down. Can they defend the run and run the football?
It depends on whether Murray's back. I think we saw everything we needed to know last week when they were 14 rushes, 19 yards at one point. It was 2nd and 1, minute 23 left. They've got 3 timeouts. They don't even attempt a run play. That said everything I needed to know about the run game and the confidence in it. They have none. So unless Murray is back in the lineup, unless those offensive lines start blocking a little bit better, they're not going to attempt to run the football as much as they probably need to. And then stopping the run. If they're without Dan Connor this week, could be down to Ori Lemon, an inside linebacker. So a lot of personnel changes ahead there.
Dan, one thing that I don't think is in dispute, there's not a more explosive group in the NFL than Matt Ryan, Roddy White, Julio Jones, Tony Gonzalez. But Michael the Burner Turner, is there no tread left on those tires?
There's a little bit of tread. He can still get going. I don't know about against this week against the Cowboys. This screams out to me a game that Tony Gonzalez may go off. I think the Cowboys do have 2 corners that can keep up with Jones and White, but again, physical presence at both those receiver spots. It's going to be a difficult matchup for the Cowboys all day long. I think Atlanta's offense is not going to have a huge problem this weekend.
All right, I don't want to tip it off. Our midseason All-Pro team about to be announced any moment. There's a Cowboy cornerback on the team, a couple of Falcons as well. We'll see how that matchup works out. As far as the football game itself, what do you think? Can the Cowboys go in there and pull the upset?
I think they can go in there and take a lead and maybe perform like some other teams have done when they've gone into Atlanta. They get up early, they look pretty good, they're in the game, and the Falcons find a way to pull it out late.
I think to beat the Falcons this season, you're going to have to be able to run the ball a little bit. I'm not convinced the Cowboys can do that this weekend, so I like the Falcons.
Dan, I'm one of those doubters. I'm not sold yet on the Falcons. They're a good football team. Yep. I don't know if they're the best. My problem is I think the Cowboys are the most overrated team in football. We talk about all these little issues. Yeah. I don't know if the talent is that good, Eric, to be honest with you. We'll get into that at another time. I'm picking the Falcons to hold home court in this one. That'll do it for our Sunday night Game of the Week preview. For all the best in news, notes, and analysis, make sure you stay at ProFootballWeekly.com.